Why don't you tell me what's going on and why you're here in divorce court today?
First off, I want to say we moved from Houston. We moved all the way from Houston, Texas, which is over 1,400 miles away. We decided to come out here to chase our dreams in the music industry. But getting here, we quickly learned that cost of living is not as cheap as Texas. So for the time being, we've been living in our car, just making it work. And before we left, I were kind of skeptical, but this man here is like literally the love of my life. I've never loved anyone as much as I loved him, but it's just a few sketchy things before we left that I'm just not.
Well, I understand you now believe that he cheated on you even before you got to Los Angeles.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So before we left, I was actually going through his phone. I have full access to his phone. We share a phone, actually. So I was going through his pictures, and I actually saw two different girls. One girl it was two pictures of this girl. She had on no top, so she was completely topless, just a thong in one picture. And then another picture she had on a completely different thong, which led me to believe that she may have spent the night and something could have possibly happened.
Or it could have been a screenshot, bro. I get that you got access to the phone and you can go through it, but don't automatically go straight to assuming. If he ain't never gave you a reason to feel that way before, like, ask a question. Like, maybe it was he took a picture or something. Maybe he was trying to figure out if it'll look good on you. I know it sounds far-fetched, but it's possible. You'll never know. You'll never know until you ask. I just don't like when you see something you automatically assume. Like, at least approach him. Approach me with the situation. Yo, what's up with that? Now, how you decide to do it is going to be up to you. You can do it while we eating dinner or whatever, bro. Like, that's up to you, but approach the situation. Don't just assume.
But that was one girl that I saw on his phone. So another girl, she was actually on his balcony, and she was dancing, twerking, actually. And he was actually zooming in all up and down her legs, all into her booty, all of that. And if you're in a relationship with me, why are you recording another girl twerking?
Okay. So, thong girl and twerking girl, Mr. Phillips. Give me your version of those events.
Well, Your Honor, both of those times, nothing sexual but happened between those females. I mean, to be honest, they took me on dates. They paid for my food. So it was more of, you know, just using somebody. And I have my own suspicions about her and her ex-boyfriend.
You said you were using them for their money, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So
That don't sit right, bro. That don't sit right, man. That don't sit right, bro. That's just... Everybody got their own right in the will to do whatever they want to do. You got your own free will, but it's just distasteful, bro. It's distasteful because... Nah.
you kind of romanced them for cash.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Would you have a problem if she was romancing dudes for cash? Next time, before you do it next time, think of it that way.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
tell me what she's doing.
Well, there was a time, you know, that I accused her a few times about going to see her ex, just, you know, off of suspicion. And, you know, I kind of felt bad about constantly accusing her. And there was a time where, you know, she needed her brakes done. And I said, well, babe, you know, I got the money, here you go. She wouldn't take the money at all. She said, I'll take care of it. I got this. So that same day, she got into a car accident. And I ran all the way from the apartment to the car, and she was upset. And I can understand that, but it was something more than just that car accident. Mm-hmm. So I was digging and digging, and I was thinking, and that day, she sent me a picture, and it had two guys next to her car. I was like, oh, okay, you know, didn't think of it. So I said, let me take things into my own hands and, you know, just reach out to the ex and see, you know, what's really going on. So when I reached out to the ex, he said, yeah, I've been hanging with Michelle, and he sent me a picture in her bedroom.
You gonna take what he say over her? Why you ain't just approach her? I would have approached her about it, man. Two dudes in the picture, and you just like, oh, I'm gonna hit it and see if that's the ex. That could have been two new dudes. Either way, if it was any dude, why does it have to matter who bro is? It shouldn't matter who he is. I'm out of there. I'm gone. I'm gone, bro.
Ms. Luna, did that occur?
It did. It did.
How did the ex get in your bedroom to take a picture?
He was actually taking me to and from work because at that time he was out of town.
To work.
So
Yeah, to and from work. Doesn't involve the bedroom.
Right. Which I completely understand, but he went up for like a cup of water, and I laid down, and he took the picture. So
I laid down.
I mean,
and he
I
took the
laid
picture?
down. Like, he didn't lay down with me or anything like that. It wasn't like anything sexual. It was really just like, I need you to take me to and from work, and that's it. We're not getting back together. We're not even friends. We're right now
If you were
acquaintances.
concerned that he wanted to get back together, why lay down on the bed and let him take a picture of you?
I mean, I wasn't really thinking at that point. I mean, I could take completely responsibility of that.
Right.
I really wasn't thinking at that point.
How would you feel if he had his ex in the crib, laying down on the bed, butt naked, drinking water, bro? It's not even like, this is the part that get me. You'll go through all of that shit, go through all of that, and nothing happened. Nothing ever happened. He came in, and I laid down, and it was all just innocent. I fell asleep, and he woke up, and he knows that we're just friends, and we don't have anything going past that. But, bro, look at this. Look at what you just said. How would you feel? Man, why is he in the house? Why is he involved at all?
I wasn't trying to go too much into that talk or that conversation with him. So I guess that's where that came in. But I take full responsibility of that.
Yeah, because sometimes anybody do something,
Right.
"Ah, now that I think about it, I shouldn't have done it."
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about you coming to Los Angeles, because once you got here, things didn't go well.
Right.
Talk to me about that.
So when we came here, we came across a film school that essentially will put us in the direction where we wanted to be. When we moved here, we had no family, we had no friends, we had no connections, we had nothing. We literally moved out here on a dream, and a dream that would work. But when we came here and we enrolled in that film school, it was like, you know what? If all else fails, okay, we're in school, we can do a few deliveries, which is what we were doing to make income. Just doing delivery services, period, just to
Right.
make income. But that would go directly back towards gas, food, daily necessities, things that we needed to survive. So talk came across doing a regular job, working retail, things like that. But I felt we didn't move to California to work retail. We didn't move 1,400 miles to work a dead-end job that's just we're gonna be a cashier in. So,
Mr. Phillips, you have something to say about that?
I mean, I did tell her that, it would probably be smart for her to get a 9-to-5 job, because I do a lot of freelance work. And I feel like with my freelance work, I don't have time, to clock in at 9 and clock out at 5, because I might have a shoot at 5 and another shoot at 10. So I feel like me making that income that way could support both of our dreams if she had the 9-to-5 to, cover other expenses.
Why didn't you want to do that?
I was totally working a regular job. That totally wasn't the case. We both agreed on working regular jobs because we weren't getting as much freelance opportunities as we had liked.
Yeah.
So we had decided to start working those regular jobs. I started to apply for those jobs. Regular retail jobs, they will also send you a confirmation that you've applied for those jobs. Your login credentials, all of that. We are logged into our email on the same phone. So when he sees my confirmations, I should see his. I don't see any of that.
So he was, no, I got what happened. And I also understand that when that didn't work out for you, you two found a very creative way to address your financial issues, and I want to talk about that. So, Ms. Luna, tell me what you decided to do in order to address your financial issues.
So I got a little creative, as you said. And what I brought up was a polyamorous relationship. All three of us would share the responsibility, and I didn't want to bring someone in that wasn't aware of our situation and basically want to build with us from the ground up, because that's what we're starting. So we've met one girl. She was.
Side note, you're bisexual, so
Yeah.
you were open to this.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay with
I think
it.
that's important.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
So we met this one girl, and she really didn't have a good vibe about her. We have personality inside of personality, so if you're kind of just sitting in the back, just like there, it's
not
kind of
gonna work.
awkward. Yeah. From that point on, we both made an agreement that we were no longer going to talk to her. We were no longer going to have any type of conversation, anything. no comment.
But you open the door to her. You open the door to introducing her. So now that she know him, bro, if he go behind your back, I don't even get, bro. I know that they got all of the different words, and I respect it. If that's what y'all want to do, then I respect it. But with the part that I don't understand is, how could you expect your partner to be with another person? Why you with him or not? Why you with him or not? If he or she, if they clapping that other person, knocking them off, I mean, it's a possibility. It's, that he might like it or she might like it and want to keep doing it. So now that it's over and you don't want to do it and I had a good time, now that's that imbalance right there, because now we got compromise. You don't want to do it, but I do want to do it. How do we meet in the middle there? You can't be like, oh, well, we only got every Tuesday. We only got every Thursday. No, because you don't want to do it. But it all started with you opening the door in the first place. And that started with the financial situation, because y'all having problems with finances. And that seemed to me like that came from a lack of a plan. I get it that it sound good that we just going to pick up and move and it's going to work in LA. We ain't going to give it no option. Listen, man, I ain't do all that. I ain't do all that now, but I get it. This going to work. I ain't going to give it no other option, no other choice but to work. But you still got to have a plan, especially if you're moving across from Houston. You move from Houston to LA, you still got to have a solid, stable plan and a backup plan in case that don't work. And when it's time to bail, you got to know when it's time to bail. And that's just keeping it a bean. Like, don't take yourself out trying to take yourself to the top. You can't even get to the top if you ain't there, if you taking out. But I get it. They young.
Contact with her. And the next day he texts me that he's on his way to the store. The store is like literally 5 minutes away from the girl that we said we were no longer gonna talk to house. So I'm like, okay, about 45 minutes pass and none of my messages are going through. And I'm like, okay, well, what are you doing? He finally texts me back and he said that he was hanging out with that girl. And I was like, oh, really? Okay. And at that point, he was like, yeah, she tried to come on to me. She tried to do this and she tried to do that. And I'm like, all right, if she started it, she shouldn't have a problem telling me that. So when I text her, she was like, okay, well, he came over and he was like very aggressive and he reached over, he grabbed me and we had sex. I was like, really? Okay. How could you possibly do this?
Mr. Phillips, would you like to address that?
I made a mistake that I probably regret for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. And it was
You seem to have a problem withstanding any kind of temptation. Any woman gets around, I mean, it just boom, straight to, you see a woman and your pants fall off.
And that ain't cool. Fellas, I'm going to be honest with you. It's good to look and all of that stuff, bro, but it's 2024. We got all different types of variations and bacteria and creatures. Now, I ain't saying don't go out there and do what you, I ain't saying that. I'm not saying that at all, but, bro, every single last one, be careful, bro. Be careful.
It was just, I feel like I did a lot that I could have changed to not let it get to that point. And like I said, I was too excited. And it shouldn't have got to that point at all.
But at this point, I feel like he doesn't really understand what that did to me because we moved 1,400 miles away from Houston.
Right.
Like, literally, I can't just go back to my mom and be like, look, well, he hurt me.
I got you. And you think that she's too insecure for a polyamorous relationship and that the fault lies on her end. Why don't you explain why you feel that way?
After this incident happened, I literally deleted that whole idea out of her head. I said, let's stop this. Let's delete all of the texts that we have from, the other females. Let's just focus on us. And she said, no, we can do it, but it has to be done a certain way. And I felt like her insecurities caused her to grow jealousy within certain situations. Even before I've ever done anything, it was always, a jealousy derived from somewhere, and I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
So for her to, say, oh, let's add a third person, it was like, okay, but are you sure? And
But you know, and then you said, are you sure? And then you said, okay, fine. And then her worst fears were confirmed because you had sex with that person on their own. So clearly, she was right to be insecure because you can't play by the rules, even when the rules are grossly in your favor.
Hey.
So, Ms. Luna, tell me about your current living situation.
So right now we're living out of our car, and when we, like I said, when we made that decision to come here, we were really taken back at how expensive it really is and how realistic it really was to achieve actually finding somewhere to live. We don't have a safety net. Like, we can't go back home if we wanted to. Houston was hit by Hurricane Harvey. So everything as we know it is destroyed by water. My family and his family staying in shelters.
Wow.
So we don't have no one that's like, hey, can you send me 20
You
bucks?
can't call home and say, I need some help, because they need help.
Exactly. So we can't really try to take away from what they really need. Even if it was, we really didn't have much before we came. So when we moved here, we didn't know anyone. So we have each other. We had to make each other, like, we had each other to survive. Like I said, we've been doing deliveries and everything like that. So when he went to go have sex with her, he literally spent money that we earned together off of deliveries on condoms for her. So that really hurts because it's just like, why would you take money that we earned together?
Trying to eat, living out of a car, trying to eat, and you gonna take it? Wow.
All right, now let's just be real. Condoms only about $6, $7 or something like that. I get the child living out the car, but if he would have had the baby, that'd have been $6, $7. That'd have been $60,000, $70,000, bro. That'd have been worth. I get it. Like, I'm not trying to take away from the scene or what's going on here, none of that. But $7, like, he was wrong. He was wrong. He shouldn't have done it, and. You know, you guys accept the consequences, but $7, like,
Mr. Phillips, do you care to respond in a manner that won't make me lose my mind?
I do. Like she said, when we moved out here, we knew everything. We knew it was expensive. We knew it was gonna be hard to, find somewhere to stay. We knew all that, but like she said, we had each other, and recently it was something that made me really realize, the things that I was doing, like you said, derive these insecurities. And we had a car accident recently. And
In the car that you were living in?
Our home, our money maker, our everything.
So now you can't even make deliveries.
Can't even make deliveries. And to know that, we have nothing to go back to, we have to be for each other. There is no...
When you leave here today, where are you going?
Luckily, by the grace of God, we have a classmate that's allowing us to stay there, and we don't know how long that's gonna last. We know it's not gonna last long. So
Is it
now,
a male or a female?
A male.
Thank God. Because you are not a man to be left with temptation. That's all I'm gonna say.
But I mean...
But he do fess up to it, though. At least ain't no law. For him to be 21, I think he 21. Or I don't know, man. For him to be how old he is, bro, at least he chuck your head up, Lord. He still chuck his head up. That don't make it right. That don't mean that it's right. But at least he like, all right, man, listen, this is what I did. And accept it. Like, can't be mad.
That really made me realize, that I feel like she shouldn't have insecurities for the simple fact that I love this girl. She's beautiful, she's smart, she has a soul like no other, and
yet you still sleep around on her. That's why she's insecure. You can't keep saying you oughtn't be insecure because I love you, because your love for her is not enough to make you remain faithful. It's not even enough to make sure you'll make sure that you have sex with somebody and condoms to do it with before you make sure she's fed. So don't tell me she ought not be insecure. She ought to be insecure. Okay? Get that off your mind, because that's just wrong. You have to behave in a manner that makes a woman feel secure. Just not speak it. Above the belt, you're fine. Below the belt, you batting zero. Don't get that twisted. I got a couple of things I want to say to you that I hope will help you out, because I'm worried about you. Dreams are important. Going for what you want is necessary for survival of the spirit. It really is. But to do so without a good game plan puts you where you are. And you keep talking about dreams and goals when sometimes, 365 days of a regular gig, I mean, you got 70, 80 years to go. You know what I mean? 365 days of a regular gig is not giving up on your dreams. It's just being a practical person. And sometimes you have to delay for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days to save up money to be able to pursue your dreams, because you have to do so in a manner that makes sense. Are you with me with that? You know what I mean? Don't just dream. My father was an attorney. He went to law school, but he worked in a linoleum factory until his law practice could get up. He never dreamed to be in a linoleum factory, but he had to delay what he wanted, even though he had the schooling for it, because he had people to feed. You got to feed yourself. Mr. Phillips, I'm going to ask you to grow up. You have a problem with denying yourself immediate gratification. And until you can deny yourself immediate gratification, you're never going to be a man in whom she can trust and secure. You keep talking all of this magnificent, I love it, all this, and all these amorphous concepts about your deep love for her and all that kind of stuff, but women need practical things. You know what I mean? We need to believe and know we got a place to stay. We got to know if you run into a woman, the next thing you know, y'all won't be in bed together. And she has no reason to believe that. And so you have to make sure that you hold yourself accountable for what you do.
I want to change that.
Huh?
I want to change that.
Don't want to change it. Do it. Everybody wants it. Everybody working on something. All this kind of stuff. Make that a goal. Like, for instance, if you don't have any money, but you wouldn't walk down the street and take a hammer and knock a old lady on her head and take a purse, right? That's an absolute bar that you would not cross. Sleeping with another woman should be an absolute bar that you do not cross. Same thing, right? So next time you see a woman you're attracted to her, think about a little old lady on the ground with her head, with a knot on her head. And maybe that'll help you get through the moment without doing the wrong thing. I wish you both the best of luck. This matter is adjourned.
Right now, it's just gonna take time for us to get past the infidelities, the deleting messages, cheating, and everything like that.
I have to do a lot to change. I know it's going to be hard for her to trust me, but I have to make a change. I have to make it work.
Yeah, bro, before we start this outro, we're going to take a couple seconds. We're going to take a few seconds. We're going to take a few seconds for all of those people who have lost their lives or loved ones, and not only just a hurricane, but in any natural disaster. Natural disaster it sucked, bro. That's the only word I can think. Like, it just sucked. Like, we get it. We understand that we all gotta go someday, but to hear that you lost a family member or, close friend or anything like that as a result of a natural disaster, yeah, man. Yeah, so shout out to them. But shout out to them. They tried to take it. They tried to take it and flip it and make it work for them, which I feel like they could have had they had stuck to the plan. This is what I think. I think they moved out there with a plan like they said. We're going to move out here. We ain't going to get at nothing else, no other option. Like, I'm going to move out here and we're going to pursue our dreams to make it into whatever field we're going to make it into. I don't think that it was a part of the plan for her to go and get a part-time job while you focus on freelancing, or for him to get a part-time job while you got a part-time job and he freelancing. Nah, I don't think that was the plan, which is unfortunate because, like they said, they was out there doing it by themselves. But when you out there doing it by yourself, bro, not by yourself with one another, but when y'all out there getting it done, you gotta stay down. You gotta stay down. And this is just my opinion on it. I ain't never done nothing like that. I never been in a situation where my home was destroyed or my city was underwater or anything like that. I ain't never encountered anything like that. So I don't know what that situation is like directly, but just looking at that situation, bro, I feel like they could have made it work, but the relationship aspect of it. The relationship aspect of it, that's what kind of, it's like we start off right here. We start off right here. You tell me one lie and I catch on to it and figure it out. Then you, right here, you find out that I'm still talking to my ex or still talking to the girl that we had a threesome with. I went from right here to right here, bro. Like, and slowly but surely, you start to decrease and you start to lose trust and faith. Like, you gotta have faith in another person in order to do that, regardless of what you think. I know they said they ain't had no family help, and that's unfortunate as well, but you gotta have faith in that person that you're willing to move thousands of miles away with to start a new life and all of this other stuff. You could do it on your own. Ideally, it would be great to do it with somebody else, but man, we never know. You never know. He could have got out there, bumped into one of the goddamn IG models or something like that, or some celebrity statue figure, and said, cool, all right, I'm gonna rock out, like, the best of luck to you. Or if the roles was reversed, she could have got out there and bumped into an actor or something like that, or a celebrity, and now she looking at him like, all right, bro, I'll holler at you when I holler at you. So you just gotta have faith. You gotta have that type faith, and I know for a fact that once you start to chip away at the trust and what was the other word? Not just the trust, but the confidence. But just having pure confidence in your partner, that's when everything else start to deteriorate. And I think for me, not the craziest part, but one of the wildest parts of the video is when bro talking about, what he say he called her ex, or he FaceTimed her ex or something like that. I'm like, man, bro, what the that's out of sight. That's out of sight. I just feel like if you gotta go through all of that, that's what you gotta go through to get your, what is it, closure or confirmation or nothing like that, bro, then you already know. You already know. And don't think she ain't getting off the hook. She ain't going nowhere. Bring that ass back here. You gonna talk about some, oh, I invited my ex over to take me to work and I let him up for a glass of water and he laid on the bed. If that wasn't the worst lie in the world, bro, like, that was just flagrant. Both of them wrong. Both of them was wrong. But to be honest with you, bro still kept it. He was honest about it. Hey, listen, I spent that last $7 on a box of Jimmy hats that grandma was supposed to buy me to go hit the chick that we both was hitting. My bad. I'm wrong. I shouldn't do it. I'm going to take, what I'm going to take for it. Okay, cool. I can respect that. But for you to sit up here and come inside of this courtroom and in front of this judge and tell us your ex came upstairs for a glass of water because he was, man, stop it. Stop it. Cut it out. But you see what I'm saying? That go back to credibility. Now I feel like I wouldn't be able to trust you. That's just too wild for me. What would y'all say? I ain't gonna lie. What would you say if your ex, you got caught with your ex in the bed? How did they get there? How did they get there? I'm gonna say we had like we forgot that we had $1,000 or $1 million in the mattress, and he was breaking in the house to try and get the mattress or something like that, bro. Like, I'm just not going out like that. I'm not going out like that, but yeah, bro, it's really an unfortunate situation. Like, it don't feel good. Like, it don't feel good talking about it because they did lose everything. But the facts is just the facts, bro. The facts is the facts. And the other part that I didn't like is that when you, again, deviating from the plan wasn't to go get another woman or man or anybody to go into this relationship with us so that we can follow our dreams. Because the moral, bro, I don't care what you say, the moral of the story was they was just trying to follow their dreams, back against the wall, trying to make it work. And I hope it do work. Shit, at the end, what they said in the courtroom, the people had offered them like job interviews or something, and neither one of them followed up. All right, cool. I get it. I'm an advocate for it, bro. I'm an advocate for Pursue your wildest imagination. Pursue whatever your wildest imagination is. If you think at the age of 35 you want to wake up and look like the Undertaker and come out like the Undertaker and have a little music and a little, y'all know how it be, like dong, and the little hat that's right there and all of that other stuff, and you want to put the hat across, yeah, if you want to do all of that, bro, you can do that. Now it's going to take mad work. You got to work. You got to work for that. But at the end of the day, bro, I'm always going to support and be like, all right, that's what you want to do. Go for it. Go for it. And for the ladies and for the women, if you want to wake up one day and be, goddamn, what do the women be wanting to be? They want to be a pilot, or you want to be an astronaut, or you want to be the head chief of police. You want to have your own business, open your own lash spot, nail tech, whatever you want to do. Just because you 42 don't mean that it's the end of the road. And it might not get popping until you 47, and now you can't even really enjoy the money because now you 47. Yeah, all right, but you can still get it. That's another thing, bro. Like, you would think, man, nah, I ain't gonna get into all of that, but yeah, man, pursue your dreams, pursue your wildest imaginations, and stick to the plan. The plan wasn't to bring Shorty in. The plan is we gonna go out here and we gonna thug it and we gonna make this shit happen. And they deviated from that plan. So when they deviated from that plan, that's when the friction came about. But shit, y'all let me know what y'all think about that. GTG, the family as always is love. And we out.